Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Mazda 6, Peter Kennedy's garage, Portlaw, sorry, to start with. Ow. Mazda, she's actually Mazda 3, sorry, I'm getting myself wrong. Mazda 3, we have worked on it, and we have worked on it within the last couple of months, done a bit of engine repair, but she's back here now, the P0683 glow plug control module 1, 2, powertrain control module communication circuit. Now I know there's a big glare on that and it's hard to see, but there we go, maybe. Have not encountered that before, I don't at least think. What is my brain telling me? My brain is telling me that I have seen communication faults on lots of types of vehicles, from Nissan to Toyota to Mazda, for glow plugs being gone. So my starting port of call is going to be to check the 4 glow plugs. Maybe I should get out, maybe I should go in underneath the battery to try and see, can I look at communication lines? So in theory, just maybe I'll go out and I'll explain where we're at. Okay. In theory, the engine control module, or the ECM, PCM, is sitting there. Okay, so that, what the fault code is telling us is that, and the glow plug control module, which is barely actually just there. So that item just there, if we can see that. The light doesn't shine on it too well, but it is visible in there. I do see 2 block connectors on it. We have a communication issue in there, but what you can't do is you can't take the fault code that you've been given as gospel, because I've seen communication faults on, as I said, there are multiple cars, not only to do with glow plugs, but because of something being wrong. So I'm going to go from the basic starting point. I'm going to go and have a little fast look, see, do we have any glow plugs gone. So if I was to fast look, so glow plugs are sitting in there. There's one. There's actually going to be 4 of them in there. If we can see, there's number 2 is in there. I'm having a job seeing him. Number 3 sits in there, and then number 4 sits in there. Again, kind of hard maybe for you to see. What I might do, we'll go for an easy test. We'll pop off that block connector. So that block connector, we would have 4 wires in there. Okay, that's 4 wires only simply going to the 4 glow plugs. So the control module in there would send out energy through the 4 wires to the 4 glow plugs to check and or test. Not to check and or test, but basically just to make them heat up for DPF regeneration. Sometimes maybe a little bit of cold start in the morning, but more so DPF regeneration or increasing temperature inside the cylinders for emissions standards or whatever. But it's those pins in there. Am I going in as far as I can? It's those pins in there is where I'm going to do my little bit of testing. So I'm going to get a multimeter, just going to go from ground here to those pins one by one and see what the resistance between, how well they can get a path to ground. So we should have around 1 ohm, I believe, of a resistance generally in these glow plugs. But we're going to go with our multimeter and just see what we have on all 4 of them. If I see one of them kind of weird and crazy, maybe I'll go along and say, hey, we need a glow plug or 2. I have made a phone call to try and get a couple of glow plugs. Kind of came back on a whim after driving down from Dublin. And I'm not going to tell you lies. I didn't plan very well, and I don't have a set of glow plugs here. I do have multiple loads of second-hand ones, but I don't have a new set. So potentially we're going to try and see if we want them gone. Maybe we could be into glow plug control module, or is there a wire damage somewhere? CAN bus is 2 wires, CAN high, CAN low. With CAN high is 2.5 to 3.5, CAN low would be 2.5 to 1.5. That makes sense? Yeah, if that makes sense. So we're going to have 2 wires going between point A and point B, but I'm hoping it's going to be fast and easy and just a glow plug, and that the video will help or aid anyone to find and fix the same ailment, even though it's communication fault. Frame of thought that I'm having. Normally I do this crack without even thinking about it, and some people might say, oh, you done the test, but boo, what are we getting anyway? We have multimeter. It's a resistance or insulation tester. Is its real job, but it's a multimeter. So I'm going to roll over here to ohms. Okay, that's the ohms tab just there. That's the ground or the common. So my actual leads are connected in theory in the right place. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go on to battery negative. So if I go to, yeah, well, like I have a spade connector actually on top. So I'm just going ground to ground. Okay, I have 0. Okay, time for our tests. OL, we saw we got 0 when we went ground to ground. So I'm going to try and get onto these pins. I'm going to start with the 2 bottom ones first. 0. Back to OL on the opposite one. Oop, did I get in there? I'm trying to see what I'm doing as well as look at the camera. Okay, 0. Back to OL. 0. Back to OL. 0. Back to OL. Okay, would have expected to get 1 ohm or so. So 0 is very, very low for me. So I'm going to just get might just grab another glow plug and do a cross reference. Back at the car, no fancy crack. Just wedged, if you can see it, sun is shining down my back, it's nice. Just wedged the glow plug in beside the pin. We can't rightly see it, but in the insulation, okay? I'm just going to go and see in one camera, or into one shot, what happens here. Ooh, okay. So we're actually gone to 0. Okay, am I oversimplifying this, and should I start with the basics maybe? I'm going to reconnect this thing back on. Okay, back on. What I do know, and I've just pulled that cover there of it, is we have a glow plug in there. Might just go and see, have I battery voltage in there. Sorry, went around here. So we're to go on volts DC. Just going to see on the glow plug fuse, if I push that onto it hard, 12 volts. Okay, so I don't need to do any kind of do I say cross-reference or testing on my meter. I can see the 12 there. I can see the 12 there. So okay, that main fuse is good and intact anyway. Maybe I should have put a load on that. Maybe I'll do that in a second and just see. Change my mind. So just come in for a fast little look at a wiring diagram. Okay, the fuse we've been in at is that one there. 80 amp glow plug. Scrolling down, it's on auto data. Glow plug control module. I got all of them. 4 glow plugs. We know our engine is good ground. We know that they're intact. So have we something else that we can look at? If I follow that wire up, across, up. F26, 5 amp fuse. I'm going to go and look at that. What was that? Relay box, engine bay. Let's get out and just make sure that F26 is intact. Fuse box cover popped off. Looking in here for a 26. I didn't really see one, not at a glance, but now you're all going to be saying, oh look, right there we have glow plug. Signal it says. So glow SIG. It's the only 5 amp fuse in here. Test light. Test light onto ground. Okay, let's check our test light. There we go. Okay, maybe we need the ignition on, don't I? Okay, let's cycle the ignition on. I thought I actually had it on. Oh, do you have it on? Okay. Scan tool in, ignition on. I have no power at that, did I? Am I doing something wrong? Lights. Did I see that running through a ground? Could hardly be, could it? I just went battery positive. And now I'm gone ground to ground. I think if I go back, or if you go back and look at my wiring diagrams, I think I saw the wire coming up from the control module to that. Straight out of the body control module, or engine bay fuse box, sorry. Body control module just there. And back to ground. Anyway, look, that looks like it's intact. I'm going to pull it out just to do a visual on it to see. Into a little bit more depth now. So what I just mentioned a while ago was about that actual wire there heading up, cross over to that, and then it came up through, back down, and all the way back down, straight on to that. So the fuse where we saw ground at it is right. Okay, in there in block connector number 2. So block connector number 1 is just for the 4 glow plugs. Going to do my resistance check there again, just to make sure we have everything intact all the way up. I'm going to then have a little fast look at my CAN signal just here, and I might disconnect the block connector off here to make sure I have CAN signal coming from this down, over and up and in. That is the engine control module. Engine control module. So if I have CAN high and CAN low of both these, it means my wire is going to be intact coming down, or some kind of a signal in there. I don't have a fault now. Is it, as I said, they're man-made? What is the other wire? I'm just wondering what that actual blue wire is. SW is the big main active feed coming down. That blue wire should be, what's he coming? That should be 12 volts. It's going through a resistor here, I see it anyway. Okay, do you know what? Sorry, I better actually check that one there as well. So that blue wire, before I go any further, BL, oversight on my part there, which is F25, and that's a 15. This one is going to be a little bit hard to see. I sent in my back probing pin. I had a job getting in there. If you can see that shiny little pin right there. I sent that into the blue wire, or that's where it's got into. And we have 12.4 volts in there. It doesn't tell me, so I'm 20, I'm going to go look at me off there. But that was F26, so it's F25 or which way it's going, I don't know. It's not audio anyway. 15 is just before engine, 10 meters, so I'd say if anything it's going to be that one just there. We'll go and we'll load test that also, so I'm going to, here, give me test that. It's all happening concurrently while I'm thinking, I suppose, along the way. What can I get into here? So ground, I want to check that, but I can't check the voltage. So look, I'm going to have to lose, right now at this point, I'm going to have to lose my voltage. Load tested enough to light my test light on here, but I can't get a voltage reading at the same time. I just don't have the apparatus in hand now. That's enough for me on that. Ground, maybe I'll swap it over and do the same test on the ground. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot wrong with this. I think it's just us after been working on the car very recently and something amiss. That's my frame of thought. While my hand was stuck down there, I just decided to swap my leads around. So even though they're different colours and the wrong way around, I have a little back probing spot here. Okay, so we're going from ground into our 12 volt light feed. We're carrying our 12 volts. I'm going to go in and I'm going to test the other big heavy wire power feed going to the control box. Okay, swap or move my back probing pin into the white wire down there, if you can see that. You can see it maybe, hopefully there. Okay, same test. Okay, probably should do the same on the ground. I might, while I'm here, actually not go, I'll do that, but I might go and just use the multimeter. Should have somewhere around, maybe both communication wires should have about 2.5 volts. Going to go and have a look at them. So I have pulled out my battery and stuff, and I have the car running with jump leads up here, just so the car thinks there's a battery in situ. Scope is sitting there, a little bit hard to see. In there we have our pink wire is on the very top. Some kind of a back probe and pin just there. 2 channels, I don't know which one. I'm at. So here I have, which is abnormal, just under 1 volt. Take pin out, drop down, pin, pin back in. Again, it's a weird looking voltage. Down and onto my other one, down the bottom, is it yellow or something? Now we're back up to battery voltage, which is the exact same signal as if I go into the white wire here, in here. Oh, we have the exact same signal. Sorry for being up so close, but I'm trying to get you to see stuff that I'm looking at while in an awkward spot. So I have battery voltage on one, and then I have, am I going to have pulse width modulation on the other? I do not know. Right now I'm kind of going, what's happening in here? What would you do at this point, guys? Would you turn around, customer, as I said, they are floating around. He's a Dublin man. Do you just put it together and assume that it's okay? Do you keep on digging to figure out what's in these two wires? Do I replace the control module and off he goes? Let me know in the comments what you think. What am I thinking? Thinking I'll ring him and I'll ask him, and I may demand more time. I may also just take off the block connectors, have a look in there, and I may, if I had a gun to my head and he wants the car, I'm just going to shoot the parts cannon and put in a glow plug control module. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to drive the car for a period and see there's a problem come back. Maybe I'll pull the parts cannon anyway and put in a glow plug control module. Decision made, guys. He's taking the car back to Dublin. So fast, look, I'm going to actually do a load test on the 2 wires that I have between the engine ECU and the actual glow plug control module. After that, then we're going to throw in a second-hand glow plug control module and leave it on its merry way. Did we fix anything? Don't know. If it's going to go wrong, we'll only learn, in a couple of miles time. So we're looking here. We have a B34 and a B25. We had battery voltage on one of them, so it nearly should be enough, dare I say, because we had battery voltage on that wire, or at least I'm guessing. That one then was for temperature. So ignition on, cooling temperature below 40 degrees, ignition on, cooling temperature above 40 degrees. So maybe we should have a little fast look at cooling temperature, but for now, I'm going to load test B25 and B34. If I can find them. So it's all on block connector B. Okay, AB. So it's going to be the smaller block connector. So it's going to be that small block connector. 25. Where do I see 34? And 34. All right. B25 and B34. Terminal side and wire side. Now I'm just going to scroll down here because they're actually in black, so they're going to be easy to see. Ground. Okay, so back to there, yes. B25 and B34. Okay, let's get a load test on it. Okay, guys, I believe I'm grasping at straws here. I don't think I've had any. Number one, I don't think of a good video. Number two, I don't know if there's anything wrong with this car. I am back probing one of, and actually I'm only just sitting in beside one of the pins right there right now. I have my own, can't even see it, meter running there, and I'm going to just sit this in against, I think it's the third one in. I have seen this and I do know. So wire back out, 1, 2, 3, third one in, just touching it off it. Okay, that wire is intact. So I'm going to pop it over in and onto the other one. And again, I'm not going into the pins itself. I'm going into the actual side of it. I don't actually remember what we are. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay. I know it's not a load test, but look, I have no battery in the car and all that crack, and I think there's nothing wrong with this. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think I was actually, when I was talking to the customer, he called in there a moment ago, he's actually going to go off, and I was just wondering, I know it wasn't me who was working on this car, but is there any chance that anyone could have, had that done and then just done that after, and by any stretch of the imagination, it's seen a fault? giving us a glow plug control module fault. I'm going to renew out or change out that glow plug module any which way, but that's kind of it. I think we're slapping this thing together and we're throwing it back to the customer just because of time frame. He is at the landing back in the garage. He is wanting to go, so unfortunately, look, we have a gun to our head on time scale. Going to do that. He said he's actually from Dublin down to here. He's going from here to Cork somewhere, or Kenmare or something along those lines, and then he could bypass this way on the way back if he has any warning lights, he's suggesting. So that's what we're going to do. Going to put it together, change the glow plug control module, leave it off, and that's kind of it. Bad video, bad job, but what can I do right now? There's the old one. That's what we're putting in. I don't know. Anyway, she's going to be bolted in, back together. Yeah, in the immediate no fault codes, going to give it a spin, going to leave the man on his way to Killarney or wherever the heck he's going. Yeah, I'm going to call it, going to pull a plug on this. If I have any change, I'll let you know. So if I hear something come back, I think, to be honest with you, this was man-made. My guts. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I will know within the next week, couple of days, whatever. He's going to Killarney or Kenmare for, as I said, there 2 days or 3 days. So hopefully at that stage I'll know, but it is back together. Second-hand glow plug control module is in there. Air boxes and all that kind of stuff put back in. If this crap is of any good to you lads, please like and subscribe. Anyway, didn't do much on this occasion. It does drive you crackers when you don't actually find something wrong. You're actually hunting but never finding the elusive item that's catching you. So fingers crossed I'm done and I won't see from this thing again. But guys, talk to you all in the next cartoon. Peter Kennedy signing out.